Are you tired of yelling he's one shot to your teammates? Or maybe you're losing to gunfights you knew you should have won? Don't worry, I got you covered in this video with 7 tips plus gameplay commentary that if practiced consistently can guarantee you to win more gunfights. Now the first tip is to stop overcommitting. There are so many times I get excited when there's enemies around and I push recklessly. Half of the time it works and the other half, well, I get absolutely obliterated because I push to the point of no return. On your next gunfight, when you get a knock on someone, expect that their teammates are close by. So instead of pushing that enemy that you just downed, take that time to reposition, play it up if you have to, and then find your next line of sight on the enemy. When you get somebody down, the trick is to immediately re-peek at a different place or angle because you can bet that the enemy is already giving comms on the general area where you are. If 2 opponents are already looking at you and you engage in the gunfight, 9 times out of 10, you will lose. If you're able to isolate each enemy so it's always a 1v1 fight, it will make the chances of not only you surviving, but wiping the rest of their team. In this clip, we're over at airfield. There was a team nearby. I was able to get the knock on someone. Right after, I got a little excited, pushed the left side, and then I saw this. Pretty much there was 3 guys already on this one side. Luckily, I had the speed boost because if not, I probably would have died. And what I did was I pretty much got behind cover, and good thing I had good teammates and they were able to wipe, I think, 2 of them. And then I re-peeked the corner again, and now there was just 1, and I was able to pretty much wipe them out. So we're back over here at Fortune's Keep, and basically this clip is showing you what not to do. So there was an enemy team in a house over here. We decided to push them, and I was able to get the down on someone. And then right after, I jumped in, got a knock on another guy. And for the next one, I attempted to slide, but obviously I lost because there was 2 guys looking at me and they were able to kill me much faster. Instead, what I should have done was, when I got the first knock, I should have stayed outside, maybe re-peek at a different window or angle, get the second knock, and then my teammate probably would have entered to the back and got another one, and we would have wiped the whole team. So basically, don't get too excited like me and just play it more patiently. So the next tip is to break the flow and Rechall. If you're unpredictable in the gunfight, the higher chance you'll be able to get the jump on someone and win that 1v1. There are a couple of scenarios off the top of my head to break that predictability. In the first situation, if an enemy shoots and manages to get a few plates off you, they will probably expect you to replate, and they would use that time to start pushing. So instead of replating and risk the enemy getting a better position on you, what you can do is the opposite and shoot them while they're pushing without cover when they're not expecting it. In another situation, in a lot of these close quarter fights, what you can do is make the enemy think you're going one way, but then you immediately turn the same corner and catch them while they're running towards you. This little trick works a lot, and you'd be surprised how many times the enemy falls for it. So in this short clip, we're in the gulag. I'm trying to find this guy. I see this guy over here. I make him think that I'm going one way. He obviously chases, and I was able to get the jump on him. So for this next clip, we are in the end game, and I knew that there was someone near me. I just didn't know how close he was. Turns out he was pretty much right in front of me, and instead of me taking the fight with my AR equipped, which I could have potentially lost because of a slower ADS time, instead what I did was turn the corner and swap to my SMG and then Rechall. Basically, this person did not expect it. He probably thought I was running away, but instead I Rechalled and I was able to get the down on him. In this clip, we knew that an enemy team was holed up in the building, so I threw a couple of snapshots so I knew exactly where they were, and they were on the 2nd level. What I did was get a couple of downs, and there was one last guy left. What I did was turn the other corner and made the guy think that I was running away, but instead I just Rechalled with a different gun and I was able to get an easy wipe. Here's another clip of me in the gulag, and this guy basically had me one shot, and instead of me running away, I basically just eco-challed, and luckily it paid off for me. In another situation, you can expect the enemy to do the same to you. So in this gunfight, I was chasing this guy around, and instead of me going around the corner to chase him, I actually expected him to do the same and Rechall. So instead, I just stood there and waited for him to re-peek, and obviously I was able to get the knock on him. And for tip number 3, it's use cover to your advantage. A lot of people run to cover when getting shot, but don't use it enough during a gunfight. If you're in the open in the middle of a fight, you're at a huge disadvantage because not only do you have nowhere to run or to play it up, but your entire body is exposed, leaving you a much easier target to gun down. In this clip over here, my buddy pings an enemy on the 2nd level. I felt pretty confident because I knew I had these wooden pallets and this wall as cover. So what I did was I crouched, made sure I was still in cover, and peeked at a tight angle, and I was able to get the down. Right after I get the down, pretty much I knew that an enemy was coming in and I was able to get back into cover right away. And now we're on subpen on the roof about to face an enemy team. Instead of pushing in and overcommitting, what we did was just use our cover to our advantage for a perfect heady. And in this short clip over here, an enemy actually shot me first, but I was able to crouch and prone behind this rock and then shoot back, and I was able to get the down. Now the 4th tip is to get high ground. I can't count how many times I've lost a fight simply because an enemy player had a better and higher position than me. Being in the high ground can give many benefits. First one being is that it gives you a better view of the enemy and you can work different angles. Second benefit is that because we naturally tend to look downwards, the opponent has to take time to aim the crosshairs at you, which gives us enough time to take their plates off. And the third benefit is that the higher ground gives you cover and you have all the space behind you to move around. In this clip, we were in the end game and basically I knew there was an enemy below me and I was able to get an easy kill off that. Basically, we were in the god spot. Everyone was lower than us, and me and my team, we were on the high ground. You can see here that I'm able to go prone. I can pretty much go behind cover. My teammates can do easy callouts and ping because we have a great view on everybody. At this point, we were pretty comfortable already. I think we knew we were about to get the dub simply because we just had the higher ground. And basically, once you have the higher ground in the end game, it's almost a guaranteed win. And you can see here that all the enemies here, they pretty much stood no chance because we were higher than them and we had different angles that we can work and easily wipe them out. Now, in contrast from the other clip, this is the end game as well, but this time we did not have the higher ground. I tried to get behind cover behind these wooden boxes, but that was a bad idea because I should have known that this guy could easily shoot me or, just wall bang me through this box. So basically just get high ground and you will be in a better position to win the game and those gunfights. Now the 5th tip in winning more gunfights is learning movement. For me personally, I've seen a huge improvement in winning more gunfights simply because I took the time in learning specific movement mechanics. If you're still a beginner, I would first start with learning the basics like slide canceling. A lot of people can slide cancel when they move across the map, but they don't use it enough during a gunfight. Make it a habit to slide cancel whenever you're peeking above cover. If you're going around a corner, always slide cancel. If an enemy is shooting you with your back turned, move around and slide cancel. Basically, do it all game because it makes you a harder target to hit. Once you learn slide canceling, you can start to learn other mechanics like jump shots, which is simply just jumping during a gunfight. Another mechanic is drop shotting, which is you suddenly going prone. Doing these two mechanics will make your enemy miss their shots because of the sudden movement of your character. When you start getting the hang of these mechanics, you can start combining them, like slide canceling into a fight, jump shotting, and then going prone. These movements can go a long way and will make you better than most of the players in Warzone, simply because the average player doesn't want to take time to learn and practice these simple movement mechanics. And the 6th tip in winning more gunfights is to get better aim. You can have the best movement in the world, but if you can't hit your shots when it matters, then what's the point? I've already covered several aim tips in detail in my previous video, but the same applies here. To get better aim, you can start with tweaking your sensitivity settings. This is one of the most basic things you can change, but makes a significant difference in hitting your shots. If your sensitivity settings are too low, then you'll have trouble keeping up with your targets. And on the other end, if it's too high, then you'll start overshooting or overcorrecting your aim. So tweak this until you find your sensitivity sweet spot. Another tip to help with your aim is to deliberately aim for the upper chest. The reason we aim for the upper chest are because of two reasons. One, because it's the largest center of mass, and so it's harder for us to miss our shots if your opponent keeps moving around. Second is that the upper chest has a higher damage profile, so if you consistently aim for the upper chest, it kills faster than if you aim for the stomach area or the limbs. Last tip for aim is to start strafing, which is moving your character left or right. Strafing can help with those micro adjustments to your aim and with the added benefit of your enemies missing their shots. Now the seventh and final tip in winning more gunfights is to work different angles. This tip applies to all game modes, but is really crucial when you're fighting with your squad. When you and your teammates are pushing an enemy team, there is no point in running together side by side. Instead, one of your teammates could push from the left, another one on the right, and if you're playing quads, your last teammate could position themselves at a higher ground or come from the back. Working different angles will have the enemy team feeling pressured and will limit their movement. In this clip over here, we were in the mines area and I was able to get it down on an enemy player who was in the second level in this building. We decided to push in and you can see that I was coming in from this side and you can see that my two teammates on the UAV are coming in from the other opening on the other end. Doing this, it pretty much confused the enemy team. They were looking at my teammates while I came in through the back and they had no idea. Pretty much they stood no chance because we came from different angles. In this clip over here, you can see again our team working different angles. There was one enemy player here that was trying to run away from my teammate, but I came in from the other side. And looking over to my right side, you can see that my teammates were trying to hold another team. Since I was already over here, I was able to get it down on one enemy. And over here, this guy was trying to get away, but since I was at a different angle, this guy pretty much had no chance in trying to push in. And that is it, guys. Practice with these 7 tips and I can guarantee you will start getting more kills and winning more gunfights. If you enjoyed the video and found any of the tips useful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content. And until then, YouTube, peace!